Good evening, everyone. This is Bro Diallo. I want you to notice something. Wait, it's a little bothering me a little bit. That's better. I want you to notice something before I start. There's no music intro. There will be no music outro. Y'all know I like to punctuate my broadcast with intros and outros. I play little snippets of music and songs and shit, but I'm not going to do that this time. Because if you don't know, this is a repeat. This is a redo. This is a flipping of the script because I did this same video on the same issue with this exact same topic last week, and my first YouTube video ever to get flagged or deleted or made unavailable, they said different shit. They said that I made the video unavailable in certain countries, which I didn't. I made my shit public and available to everyone. Then they said that they just gave a lot of different excuses. People were sharing with me that they couldn't watch my Ice Cube Contract with America video. And they said it was flagged for copyright and just gave me all these reasons why they were taking it down. Even though I thought I had two things going for me. Number one, I'm such a small producer. I put out a video and it doesn't get 1,000 views. So I'm such an obscure source of information. I have such a small presence on YouTube and across social media, really. I mean, when you consider these people that get tens of thousands of hits, millions of hits, I figured I could operate under the radar, that I could tell the truth and operate and not be seen by people who really have the interest or power to, shut me down. But I guess those days are gone. And I thought that because I stay within the fair use agreement, meaning that I don't infringe on copyrights, I don't profit from other people's material, I don't make money by, and I play little snippets, I give commentary or intros and outros, which if you go and look, actually YouTube's fair use doctrine is very clear. It's a short miniature paragraph, but the problem with their fair use policy is not that it's not clearly written and it's relatively fair, but it presumes you're guilty until proven innocent. Therefore, if you get a copyright flag or something on YouTube, then they will snatch your shit down until you prove to them that you didn't do what you're accused of doing. So anyway, long story short, a week ago, I did an evaluation of Ice Cube's contract with Black America. And the reason why Ice Cube's contract with Black America stood out to me and I felt compelled to say anything about anything Ice Cube had to say is because for what it is and for what it isn't, what he has in his contract it does resonate with the majority of black people in the United States. And it is a very popular ideas and solutions that have been promoted to our community for generations. So it's not even as though Ice Cube came with something original or something new. Ice Cube actually presented something to the court. That's my wife's dryer. Damn, it's a long beat. Anyway, so I figured, since, yet another black person of note, a black person of status is rehashing and reselling us old, tried and true solutions to the black predicament, I figured might as well, give it a talk. Because if it's Ice Cube putting his stamp of approval on it, Ice Cube has street and hood credentials. He has mainstream black entrepreneurial, black mogul credentials. And he even, amongst many people in the conscious movement, has conscious or even revolutionary credentials because of his death certificate, America's Most Wanted, his association with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, his association with the Nation of Islam. So O'Shea Jackson, a.k.a. Ice Cube, has a lot of credibility across a wide breadth of the black reality, black experience. I'm not saying whether it's deserved or not or whatever, but it is what it is. And some of y'all probably noticed, and Bro Diallo got on a official Curry Golden State Warrior jersey. Let me say, my cousin, that's the second beat. All right, now, hopefully no more interruptions. Anyway, my cousin sends me this stuff. If you see me in anything official like sports or anything, I have a cousin who buys these things and sends them to me. I don't know why. I guess she knows I'm a socialist, so anything she sends me that's free and shared, I'm going to wear it. So that's why. But I also hope, since I've been getting in trouble with YouTube, if they, the algorithm shows that I'm wearing something so commercial, so corporate, so mainstream, they'll leave me the blood clot alone. So yes, the most lovable Negro, the most lovable Negro in America, I'm wearing his jersey right now. So that's the hustle I'm trying to run. Yeah, ball chasing jersey. Y'all hear me talk about ball chasing, but hey, you send me a jersey of your favorite player, I'm gonna wear it. Uh-oh. I might have to go back. God damn it. And now my stream is messing up. Maybe I should crack the door. Anyway, if the stream mess up again, what do y'all want from me? I got this. Fuck. Maybe I should call Dr. Mingo. She says she got this shit together. They keep cutting my stream now. Anyway, let's get through this. There's so much. I suffer so much. And if YouTube go out, maybe I'll just finish it on Facebook and then post it to YouTube. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm struggling. Anyway, let's just get through this. That's what. One time I went to see Wise Intelligent perform in here in Chicago. Fuck. Now my feed is messing up. I might just jump over to Facebook, because if I'm going out, I don't know. If they take me out, then maybe I'll just jump over to Facebook and finish on Facebook. So if you're having trouble watching this on YouTube, jump over to Facebook. I think Facebook is okay. How's Facebook? Because I ain't even got into the meat of the heart of the matter. God damn, hold on. No, I got it all bars. Straight bars. Like I'm Black Thought. Anyway, I'm seeing reconnecting. Are y'all having trouble on YouTube? Because I keep seeing this reconnecting. Even though I got solid bars. Motherfucker. Unable to connect at this moment. I'm not about to do this shit a third time. So if we don't get it done this time, y'all, it ain't going to get done. So let's give it one more try. And then we'll turn our attentions elsewhere. Anyway. Facebook is good. All right, let's stick with Facebook, man. Fuck YouTube. No, I didn't mean that. Sorry, YouTube. I'm back on you. As soon as I said fuck YouTube, here I come. Anyway, if you want to know about all this shit, you should go watch my... Okay, that's it. I'm done with YouTube. Fuck it. I just ended the stream. Sorry, y'all. Fuck. And see, I never had... See, I'm used to working at the radio station where, the connections and everything are hot fire. Everything's good at Q4. And I come here and shit is just falling apart on me. Just had to delete that. Anyway, where was I? I'm gonna just do it here. Do it live. I sound like fucking... What's his name? Now I have to do like the... Oh, Lord. The air ain't on back here anyway. Anyway, so... Let me recenter my chakras. Let me reattune my vibration and elevate my vibrations, because this is going to go fast, because I've already done this once. And tell your homies that are trying to watch this on YouTube, I just killed it on YouTube because it kept cutting out on me. And you know what I have to do? I'm going to have to go back up front. Because I think if I do this shit up front, it'll work. But I'm not trying to... Let's just do it here. Since Facebook is working. But if Facebook cut off, I don't know what to tell y'all, because I'm taking this shit all the way down. Excuse me. And, there's an old saying in politics. You got to dance with who brought you, right? So if Facebook is acting like it got some sense, I'll just do it on Facebook. And I'll load it to YouTube later. Now, where was I? Anyway, I made a video entitled Nigga with Audacity, because I thought that Ice Cube had a lot of audacity to create a contract with Black America. One of the reasons why is, if you know anything about U.S. political history, the white right-wing racist Republican Party under Newt Gingrich created a contract with America. I think it was 94. And this is during what was called the Republican Revolution. During Bill Clinton's second term, he ran for president during his second term, and No, midterm. It wasn't even his second term. He was elected in 92. His midterm was 94. That's why I should fucking take notes. I'm not as smart as I think I am. And when I try to recall. But anyway, during his second term, something happened called the Republican. And the Republicans swept the midterm because Bill Clinton had done two things. Number one, during his first term, he ran just like Obama. He ran as a progressive and he ruled as a centrist. And not to mention all the other scandals that were coming out of Arkansas, everything from sex trafficking and sexual assaults to his connections to the crack epidemic and drug trafficking, and in the 90s, in the early 90s. So Bill Clinton, his was tarnished. And so people were like, what do? We jump from Democrat to Republican. Not we, but white folks jump from Democrat, Republican, and back again through every election cycle. This ping pong election cycle, left to right, right to left. Really, it's center to far right, center right to far right, but I'm not about to get into politics. But anyway, they created white folks, the white Republican right wing, this group of white millionaires who were funded by white billionaires, saw that white people were disaffected because this was the beginning of deindustrialization. This was the height of the erosion of the New Deal. So a lot of the New Deal protections and a lot of the New Deal opportunities were done. And rural America was suffering because agriculture was consolidating, corporatizing, and white folks were losing their farms. And the Rust Belt, the steel, the coal, the rail industry, shipping industries were being outsourced. And manufacturing was being outsourced to Mexico and China and other places. So a lot of the heartbeat of America, the dyed-in-the-wool, red-blooded, real Americans were losing out, white folks. Now, black people, I ain't even going to talk. We were in the throes of the crap epidemic, mass incarceration. I'm talking about white folks. So you know what it was said when white catch a cold, black folks get the flu. So if you want to know why are you talking about white people, and you want to know what was going on with black people, just take everything I say about white people in 94 and quadruple it. And that's what the deal with black folks. But anyway, so the white elite said white folks are outraged. They're pissed off. They're losing their standing. They're losing faith in the system. The system is losing legitimacy. So these white elites came and said, let's take this justified outrage of the white working class and pimp that shit. Let's turn it into a weapon to use against our opposition and a vehicle to generate and to extract more resources, to create more policies, to funnel more resources to the elite. And that's what they did. So white people went from centrist, from center left to centrist to center right to now, because of another few decades of this shit in the Trump era, that white folks, the white masses, are full-on fascist. So it's just an erosion to the right, not a fall, not a collapse. America's not falling. America's not collapsed. It's too big. It's too rich. It's too well entrenched to collapse. America is eroding. And it's harder for us to see the erosion of the empire because it happens over a long period of time. And during that erosion, you have little pockets of regeneration. You have little bubbles. Oh, the housing market collapsed and now it's back. Oh, the tech sector collapsed and now it's back. So you don't realize, but the underlying infrastructure of the whole shit is eroding. But anyway, it creeps up on you. It's like the difference between developing metastatic cancer that slowly innervates all your organs versus a gunshot wound. You get shot, it's immediate. But you get a cancer, you get a malignant tumor, it could operate underground and you could feel just fine and healthy for years, if not decades. But I digress. Anyway, so that was this thing. So even now, if you follow mainstream political writing, mainstream political science, every fucking political scientist, from a right wing to the left wing, from liberal and progressive to leftist to even conservative Fox News, contract with America was a failure. And no intelligent person who has any understanding of Western U.S. politics or history would name anything they want to do for the working class a contract with America. Because it is a poison. It's a no-go zone. It's a toxic concept. So for Ice Cube to come from, and he was around, he was prominent in '94. He was one of the biggest rap artists in the world in 1994. So he had to know that this thing with the contract with America existed. Then he turns around and just slaps black in there. Instead of contract with America from Newt Gingrich and the Republican Revolution, he just throws black in there. And guess what? His contract not that much different than the fucking failed contract. So it's two things. Ice Cube is ignorant of political history, which makes him unqualified to lead us, or he has contempt for us and he thinks either he's stupid or we're stupid. Now, I'm afraid he might be right about us being stupid because I see that this contract with Black America catching momentum in certain sectors. But he either has contempt for us or he's not too smart himself. And I don't think he's not an unintelligent man. So I have to go with the second one, that he understands or believes or might be correct that the masses of black people are fucking idiots and ignorant. But either way, if you don't have that much faith in your people, if you think your people aren't that bright, instead of exploiting their dim-wittedness, you should educate them. But I digress. So just when I first heard the contract with Black America, I immediately was like, a contract with America? Nobody does contracts with America anymore because the Republicans in '94, 30 damn years ago, already sullied that concept. But I digress. So anyway, when I first heard that, I read a transcript from his Breakfast Club interview. And I ran back there and I went to Ice Cube's website. If you go to Ice Cube's website, he's on there holding up the West Side, yay, yay, and his hand is dripping with blood as he holds up the West. Now, where's my tinfoil hat? You already know what hands dripping with blood means. If someone says your hands is dripping with blood, that means you have done something horrible, horrendous. You have taken something that doesn't belong to you. Let me see if because maybe he changed that. Because since it got taken down, and believe you me, I'm not trying to say Ice Cube got my site taken down. The last video I did on this issue taken down. I'm not saying Ice Cube did that. I don't think Ice Cube in any way interacts with his own social media. He's too big. But all I know, I'm going to speak the facts, and y'all live with the truth. I had the video up. People were engaging. We had ongoing discussions. And then this asshole, Arabized Uncle Tom, posted Ice Cube's official social media onto the video image. So basically linked those two together like, hey, Ice Cube, look at this, or Ice Cube's people. And immediately, within like 5 hours of that, my whole shit got snatched down. So you do that with that, what you will. Now, I ain't made no definite speculation. But I went to Ice Cube's website. So not only was it hella fucked up that he would name his shit that. Just if I was his advisor, if Ice Cube put me on the payroll, oh, he took it down. Motherfucker took it down. Okay. See, now he trying to make a lie. Read the contract here. Okay, Ice Cube on his page had an image of himself with the West Side Connection sign, and his hand was dripping with blood. The contract with America is still up. Okay, I see you got a little sense on you. He took that shit down. I can't pull it up. So anyway, y'all gonna think it's like I make this shit up and keep making a liar out of me. It's not there anymore. So I guess if it ain't there, then I'm glad it's not there because it was fucked up imagery. He took down the West Side Connection with his hand dripping with blood. But if you can see it, or if you know where it is on his website, go ahead and, because he had one of those, oh, wait. Oh, here it is. Let me show y'all. I'm not playing. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Can y'all see that? Y'all see? Hold on. Oh, let me turn the camera around because I don't know if y'all can see what I see. I'm not crazy. Look at that shit. Somebody come look at this. Hands dripping. Now you know. You freaking know what it means when somebody says your hands are bloody. It's a metaphor. It's usually a metaphor. When someone says your hands are dripping with blood, that means the way that you've gotten money, the way you've enriched yourself, the way you function in society is in a way that is unjust, corrupt, harmful, unworthy. So he throws up the the West Side Connection hand sign on his website. So, I mean, I don't know who's doing this dude stuff. I don't know who's designing. I mean, if Bro Diallo, see, Dr. Mingo does all my web shit. So y'all see some Illuminati type shit, or y'all see my branding is inconsistent with my message, or my message is inconsistent with the imagery on my site. It's talk to Dr. Mingo. But like, what the fuck, dude? First, you call your shit Contract with America. You show your hands. My hands are dripping with blood. Y'all trust this motherfucker? Listen. I ain't the most. I'm a grounded dude. Y'all follow me on social media. Look at my blog. Go to my YouTube and Twitter. Y'all see me making fun of these Illuminati, looking under every rock and looking for all kind of shit. This ain't even symbolic. This is blatant. This is fucking blatant. I'm like, oh yeah, Illuminati symbolism. No, yeah, bloody hands. He don't okay, but let me move beyond that. So anyway, this whole thing was like, man, this shit is mad fishy. Before I even printed off the word for word Contract with America, I'm like, this shit is mad fishy. This shit is mad speculative. Right? So I ain't even started on the contract. So I make a video saying, well, this is what he says, and this is what he says are solutions to improve the status of black people in America. Right? And my shit gets snatched down. Never happened before. The video only had like 300 views. It wasn't even a viral video. But this asshole goes and tags Ice Cube's official page, snatched my whole shit down. And then I went to YouTube because it was a live broadcast, and I tried to edit out the parts where I had like music and all the other little snippet shit. And I'm like, this is going to be, and just put what I said, my evaluation or my critique of the contract. But they wouldn't let me do that. I can still see the video as the producer, but I've had people from Nigeria, people from UK, people from US. Some people say the video is taken down because of copyright issues. Other people say that I've made the video unavailable myself, which I didn't do. And they showing me screenshots when they try to get the video. And so I said, I'm going to try to edit it so that to take the shit that they claim is problematic out of there. And, I played that song, The Bitch in You by Common, which was an Ice Cube diss track. I didn't play the whole song in its entirety. I played less than a minute of that song, to kind of punctuate. I only used the music to kind of punctuate my points or my views. But I didn't play the song in the entirety. I kept it within limits of fair use, but they snatched my shit down. But then I go to his homepage. Let me show y'all one more thing so I'm not crazy. It's him with Common. They used to have all this beef. So I'm like, damn, I can't use Ice Cube music. I can't use Common, but whatever. Okay. So that's all the setup. Just me jawboning about the setup. But let's get in the contract. What is Ice Cube? I'm going to just go ahead because I don't know if this will get cut off. But let me tell you what Ice Cube's solutions for black people are in this contract. Ice Cube's solution is black capitalism subsidized by white capitalism. He wants the established global white capitalist system to embrace black Americans and subsidize black capitalism. That's what he wants. And his argument for what should motivate white people to subsidize white capitalists to subsidize black capitalists is to atone for past and current crimes of white capitalists. And what he also fails to fucking do, that's what he's arguing for now. So I'm laying it all out. If I get cut off, y'all heard the ultimate points. And now I'm going to go back and just talk specifics. But what he fails to do, if you have signed any contract, I don't give a fuck if you bought a car. Yeah, I already explained the ball chaser wear. My cousin, shout out to my cousin. She bought me this. She don't mess with social media, but she bought me this. She bought this jersey and mailed it to me. You know, I guess she wants me to know what it's like to be a normal black man in America. She wants me to stop being so weird and shit. So she bought me a Steph Curry jersey when he was Golden State. That was a gift to her. And her son loves sports. And her husband loves sports, but he's more into soccer and non-American sports. But she lives with so she bought me this jersey. She knows I live in poverty. So she wants me to be able to enjoy some of the finer things. So I'm done explaining my jersey. And plus, I'm trying to wear this because I guess, the fucking internet police are on my shit. So if they see a still of this video and they be like, oh, he's wearing a Curry jersey. He can't be a bad guy. You can't how you want to bring the system down when you're wearing the jersey of the most lovable Negro on the planet right now? So don't ask me to explain my jersey. I don't owe y'all any explanations. Where was I? Oh, if you have a contract, right? If you have signed any type of contract, whether it's to rent a house, your lease is a contract, to buy a car, to lease a car, to an employment contract, every contract in existence has both the obligations of the two parties, or three, whatever parties, what one party owes to the next. That's one aspect of every contract. If it doesn't have that, it's not a contract. Number two, the rewards or what exchange of value or resources, income, you give me a home and shelter and I give you rent, you give me a car, I give you my monthly payment, you give me your services and I give you fiat for performing the services, whatever that contract is. But then the most important aspect of any contract, the first thing you want to look for in a contract, not what they're going to give you, not what you're going to take, but what are the penalties? What are the consequences of the failure to meet the terms of the contract? So even though Ice Cube, who's a mogul, who's a multi-billionaire, who's been in business, he said, I've been making rap dollars since the 10th grade. Yeah. Push rhymes like weight. He said he been making rap money since the 10th grade. So this brother done signed contracts with everything from Ruthless Records to Walt Disney. He done made contracts. He knows what the fuck a contract is. So how you gonna make a contract for your whole race? Not a record contract, not a movie contract, not a 3-on-3 basketball contract with Russian oligarchs. But you make a contract for the liberation of the race, and you don't have the most essential element of any contract within that, which is, what are the penalties if you fail to meet the terms of the contract? So the contract's null and void. If I go buy a car, and they don't put in the contract, if you fail to make your payment, after 3 months, we reserve the right to come take your shit. So I say, yes, I'll take the car. And they say, yes, we'll give you the car. And then I'm driving the car around. They were like, you didn't pay us. I'm like, yeah, but you can't come take the car. That's not part of the contract. You don't have any conditions or you don't have any penalties that will happen if I fail to pay. So there ain't shit you can do. It's my car. You gave a car away. Mark ass trick. So that's it. But let's say so that's my issues. I'm going to just lay it out on the table. Those are my issues with the contract. And also, his whole fucking contract is already previously tried and failed bullshit that will not succeed, that has been tried and has not succeeded. It's not original. And even if you're going to suck a MC, Ice Cube, you a rapper, you know what the fuck a sucker MC is, but you copied, you stole ideas from other movements, from other activists, and didn't give nobody no credit. And like I said before, my first time taping this, he obviously got some scholars involved with this shit. He obviously got some lettered Negroes involved with this because there's a shit ton of stats. Look at that, 17%, 5%. I mean, he's got his stats. He's got his data. But that's the thing, right? You got a lot of people on the internet that can spit statistics and data but data don't mean shit. Data and stats are only as good as their interpretation and application. So I can have the most accurate statistics in the world. But how do I interpret, dissect that shit? That's like having all the healthy food in the world, but if you don't know how to fucking slice and dice and saute sugar, you're gonna fuck it up. You're gonna turn healthy food into disgusting slop. But I digress. Let's get into the heart of the matter. It starts off, after 400 years of unequal treatment, black Americans have had enough with gradual reform in a nation that prides itself as the greatest democracy in the world. Now, he said America prides itself as the greatest democracy in the world, but he never says that it's not. You are left to conclude that he believes that this is the greatest democracy in the world. He even says that the white folks are well-intentioned, that they have had well-intentioned solutions. So they oppressed us for 20 plus generations. They had us under systemic oppression by accident. Oops. Or as Professor Mackey was fond of saying, white folks would do right by us just as soon as they figure out how to do right by us. So he wants to form, he literally quotes the pedophile, rapist, enslaving, genocidal colonizers, founding fathers to say he wants to form a more perfect union between whites and blacks. All Americans deserve. He wants all, so this is some old little white boys and little white girls and little black boys and little black girls going hand in hand. This is what he's advocating for. Well, and he says, while this contract with black America may seem radical to some, the result will be harmonious society. That's what he's telling white folks. If you subsidize black capitalism with your white capitalism, if you come and create a safe cocoon for black people to be capitalist, you will have a more harmonious society and the benefit of everyone rather than a radical alternative. So he doesn't want radicalism. He's anti. This is pro. He wants black people to join the status quo in his own words. So he's saying the purpose of his contract with black America is to create harmony between blacks and whites to preserve the union and to sustain America. That's in his own motherfucking words. So the first thing he wants white folks to do is create black opportunity and black representation. He wants reparations, but he doesn't want reparations because we know that reparation truly means to restore people to the state of being prior to being brought under oppression. And so before we came under slavery and oppression, we were not citizens of the United States. We were sovereign people on the African continent. So true reparations is not about getting a shit ton of U.S. fiat. It's about the decolonization of Africa, repatriation of Africa, and the restoration of Africa's sovereignty, and the return of not white folks' money, but African people's natural resources. But I digress. He wants fiat. He wants the U.S. Yankee dollar. He wants affirmative action. What a new and amazing idea. He wants more affirmative action. He says because black people make up 13.4% of the U.S. population, 13.4% of all academic positions, all entry-level technical schools, liberal arts schools, junior college, elite, Ivy League schools have to reserve 13.4% of their admissions for black people exclusively. And he's got some other thing, 25% enrollment will satisfy the county. But basically, he's like, teach us how to be free. As if white folks haven't been teaching us how to be free and independent since the goddamn Tuskegee Institute, financed by the Rothschilds, the Bilderberg. And, this ain't nothing that he's some shit. He literally took this from W.E.B. Du Bois and took it from Booker T. Washington, and he did nothing but just take their shit and slap it down on his contract and didn't even award. That's all this shit is. Give us the skills and the training so that we may be fully actualized, to fully realize our potential to contribute to the great American experiment, the great American democracy. Been there. fucking done that, and it didn't work. But I digress. He wants mandatory civil rights and anti-racism classes in elementary school. So he wants us to educate, even though statistically, psychologically, they have shown that sensitivity training, diversity training, anti-racist education has not done anything to reduce racism and racial hostility from grade school to police. They have found that this, black people don't like having their necks stepped on. Black people don't take kindly to being called the N-word or monkeys. They're not down with that. And then give Timmy a test, multiple choice. Black people don't like being called A, monkeys, B, N-word, C, inferior, D, all of the above. And then Timmy circles D, and then all of a sudden, he's no longer a racist. But that's what Ice Cube wants to continue to do that. We've had sensitivity, diversity, training, mandatory Africana studies, just like women's studies have not reduced sexism. Latin America studies has not reduced xenophobia. Multicultural studies, in fact, in a lot of places, mandatory multicultural studies, they have shown have increased animosity between ethnic and racial groups. And I wish it did work. Lord knows, I wish if I could go and get a book, a John Henry Clark book, or a Martin Luther King speech, and mail it to some redneck racist and have them do an essay on what they read, and if that cured racism, I wish Ice Cube was right. But we've had too many generations of this shit failing us to keep fucking around. But anyway, that's what he's calling for in the contract. Representation, he wants more black politicians. This shit, if it wasn't written down, I say use a lie. He wants more black politicians. And, which is, I agree with this part, the gerrymandering shit. He wants to reform the gerrymandering laws, but that ain't got shit to do with black folks. That's just, but, okay, he wants that. So I ain't saying everything in here is bad. He wants to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. So, he wants, and he wants the 1965 Voting Rights Act should be amended to give more weight. So he wants us to we actually, black men, brothers, we got the right to vote in the 1860s. Black women got the vote in the 1920s. So we've had over a century, black men and women have had over a centuries of voting rights. So in 20 blood clot 20, if you still fighting for something you were fighting for 100 years ago, and you haven't even changed the strategy and tactics of what you're fighting for, insanity is doing the same thing over and over in this place. So Ice Cube is insane. These integrationist Negroes, these Voting Rights Act Negroes, you keep asking for the same shit and expecting different outcomes. Juneteenth, federal holiday, I guess. I'm not a fan of Juneteenth. To me, Juneteenth should be like not a day of celebration, but a day of mourning, a day of outrage, a day of reflection. But that's me. I'm not saying we don't acknowledge Juneteenth, but for y'all to be cooking out and dancing and act like, black folks who spent extra time in slavery is somehow a good thing, y'all weird to me. Y'all some weirdos. But don't get mad. I'm wearing a Curry shirt. Every time I say something that offends you, just look at, hey, Golden State, woo, whatever. But that's just his opportunities. Let's move on to the, he wants massive bank lending control. Now, the motherfucking Ice Cube, he's either stupid or thinks we're stupid. Because Ice Cube is literally calling for black capitalism, and he wants to use literally socialism to implement black capitalism. He says, first, sit on his second section, massive bank lending reform. He says, I quote, while capitalism is a good system. Can y'all see that? This is directly from his, let me hold it steady. Can it focus? While capitalism is a good system. Don't ignore my notes. Go to his site. Pull this shit up. Go to icecube.com/a-contract-with-America. / He says capitalism. I mean, that motherfucker, you're done. To me, if y'all had any sense, I'd rip this shit up, but I still need to. I've already printed this shit 3 times because I printed it the first time and I threw it away after I shot the first video. And then I tried to print it and my printer was acting up. And so then I printed it twice. So this is I ain't spending no more fucking ink on Ice Cube. I want reparations for my ink for printing this dumb shit. So, he talks about redlining and the history of economic subversion. I'm giving him too much credit by putting his shit in my own words, but he talks about the history of economic subversions. He says, while capitalism is a good system, he provides no evidence of that. What the fuck? But let me not focus on that. It requires capital to participate. This is why he wants white folks. Now, he talks about all the bad things white people did, waging economic subversion and economic warfare against black people. And he said, out of guilt, acknowledge these bad things you did to black people, and then you should feel bad about it, and then you should have a desire to correct it. And this is how you can correct it. He wants bank lending on a yearly basis by percentage of dollar amount must match the black population. So 13.4% of all bank lending across the board, housing, student loan, small business, grants, 13.4% of all. And I know some of y'all niggas is like, damn, that's a lot of money because this is $1 trillion economy. So 13% is billions upon billions of dollars. That the money we get from but this is private banking. Is capitalism good or not? Because if I'm a capitalist banker, I'd rather loan my money to Walmart, Elon Musk, than, Jabbo Jones from around the corner. Hell, I'm better off, even as a black person, I'm better off being like Michael Jordan and investing my money with military contractors, investing my money with offshore venture capitalists, investing my money with Chinese oligarchs or Arab or Saudi Arabian oligarchs than I am investing in black people, because the higher returns. Is capitalism good or not? How the fuck you say capitalism is a good system and then turn right the fuck around and negate capitalism? Capitalism is so good, I want you to violate the fundamental tenets of capitalism, which is minimal investment, highest return, in order to bring black folks into capitalism. So like I said, Ice Cube is either an idiot or he thinks we're all idiots. And I don't think he's an idiot, and I don't think he thinks he's an idiot. So he's like, just put some pro-black shit, just throw black and some stats and get a celebrity to rubber stamp it, and black people gonna eat it up. So he wants proportional schooling. He wants proportional private funding. And he does at least say, I don't want the money to come from the government. He doesn't say that the government should appropriate the funds and then redistribute that wealth to black folks, which would be socialist. He says that the private industry should do it directly to black folks. And guess what? If they did do that, still, let's say Bro Diallo wants to start a urban agricultural cooperative, or Bro Diallo wants to open a bookstore and vegan cafe, or Jay-Z wants to start another liquor company with Ciroc, or Beyonce wants to open another sweatshop to sell Blue Ivy clothing. It would make more sense for them to give the money to fucking Jay-Z, Ice Cube, and Beyonce than Bro Diallo, because you're going to get a higher return on your investment. So that's why the white folks were like, yes, we met our 13%, but the 13% of the holdies are going to go to the top 1% of black capitalists, which is what's happening now. So this is really an argument to further empower and enrich the black elites, not to uplift the black masses. But y'all don't hear me at all. But that's the thing. He wants to mandate private capital gives resources to public people. So he wants to use socialist reforms for black. And I'm saying, claim it. Just claim it. If you say capitalism is good, then fucking advocate for capitalism. Don't fucking say capitalism is a good system and then say, but the only thing that can help black people is socialist reforms and socialist mandates. But I digress. Let's move on. He wants additional reforms because he acknowledges that many public and private institutions have had their hand in the cookie jar. And the cookie jar is any type of corrupt practices that have been used against black folks. If you're in the private prison system and you've benefited from racist policies such as redlining and things of that nature, you've had your hand in the cookie jar. And so he wants these companies that have had their hand in the cookie jar, shipping companies, holding companies, insurance companies, not-for-profit, I would assume it's not here, but a lot of churches have participated in the system and given legitimacy to the system of reparations. He wants all of them, that magical number for Ice Cube, 13.4%. He wants them to invest 13.4% of their total funds in black-owned businesses. And guess what? Really, only 1%. If you read Dr. Claude Anderson, Powernomics, and Black Labor and White Wealth, he tells you barely 1% of all black people are actually self-employed and independently wealthy. 98 to 99% of all black people rely on their labor. Most black folks are not capitalists, which means you can live off of your existing capital. We earn our income by working for it. So he's literally saying 13.4% of all this money, which is billions of dollars that goes to black businesses, is going to go to the upper 1% of black people. And I'm pretty sure like they have these obstacles. And the black business owner that has a team of accountants and a team of lawyers and a team of representatives and can hire promotional firms, they're going to be in the best position to get that from that pool of money versus me having owned a business where I'm a business owner, but I'm a laborer. I work in my business. I put in more time in my business than so Elon Musk doesn't have to fucking pack boxes. Not Elon Musk. He's not in the Tesla factories assembling cars. Fucking the owner of Amazon, Bezos, is not taping boxes shut or showing them up at your door. So if you own a business and your ass is the one unlocking that motherfucker, going in there, whatever you do, if you own a hair salon and you in there unlocking, turning on the AC, answering phones, then you are not a capitalist. You are simply a worker. You're an owner, laborer. You're not a capitalist. So when my wife and I businesses, we put in more time than our employees. We earned our income. We didn't just wake up in the morning and says, our manager, our supervisor, our legal team, our promotional team, all these people who work for us are there operating our company while we're sitting on the porch, eating peanut butter cups and sipping, vegan mochas. We worked as hard, if not harder, than our coworkers, but we had the paperwork to say we were the owners, but in name only. So anyway. Really, if you really look at these, and he wants black people to engage in venture capitalists. He wants us to be venture capitalists as well. So he wants them to fund black people being able to get a pool of money and go out here. And I'm not even going to get in. Just go Google venture capitalist. And you'll notice even white folks call venture capitalists vulture capitalists. Go read Naomi Klein, read Medea Benjamin. Go read what white folks say about venture capitalists. Don't even read about what crazy black radicals like me have to say about it. But that's what he wants. So let's move on, because this financial shit, I could just dissect all day. It's bullshit. It's not viable. Most of it's been tried before. And a few things that ain't been tried before, the only reason that they haven't been tried before is that they're so fucking horrific and backwards and reactionary. No self-respecting black person who claims to be a black leader or hold the interests of black people to heart would ever suggest we do this bullshit. So moving on to his judicial and policy reform. He wants to re-reform what's been reformed previously. So what I call this is reform. Reform. Not just reform. Because he's asking for the same shit. Talking about the health crisis. Talking about, he wants to ban all private prisons, which is good. Even white liberals are pushing that. You can't coerce people to work in prisons without their consent. So he's basically reforming the 13th Amendment, saying that slavery is abolished and not putting that little caveat unless you break the law and then are an inmate. It's all good, but you don't need a contract with Black America for this, because there are a lot of white organizations, including the Progressive Democrats of America, that are pushing this. So you don't even give them motherfuckers benefit. Even Angela Davis, the establishment status quo radical, has been saying this for decades. So you didn't even need to say this shit. You could just say, I endorse this movement, but you're going to act like you just came out the thing. He wants the KKK declared a terrorist organization, not the police, not the U.S. military, but the KKK. He wants lynching to become a federal hate crime. He wants, which is, again, this is nothing. I don't know why he's taking this shit, but he's, if you're a nonviolent criminal, he wants all nonviolent criminals to be freed after 10 years if they've had less than 5 write-ups during their time of incarceration. That's kind of fucked up to me. So if I smoked weed and I get clipped, Ice Cube wants me freed after 5 years if I haven't committed any violations while in jail. How fucking generous of you, Ice Cube. What in the entire fuck? He doesn't say it's a contract that's unenforceable, so he could have said free all non-violent offenders immediately and pay them reparations for their undue incarceration. He could have said let them out after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Let me out after a nickel. A lot of dudes, in and out of jail say, I could do a nickel standing on my head. But he said 10 years. And he couldn't even say, let all these nonviolent offenders out after 10 years. What they used to call in New York, paper gangsters. Dudes who ain't spilled no blood, who ain't stuck a gun in nobody's face, who haven't done anything violent. They done tried to steal or swindle or hustle their way on a come up. They haven't done any physical harm to people. They're nonviolent little hustlers and shuckers, criminals. He said, after 10 years, let them out if they've committed less than 5 infractions in jail. I don't know if you've ever been to jail. I've been both arrested and I've been an employee at Rikers Island. I worked in the Rikers Island infirmary for 3 years, and I saw the guts of the prison system. And let me tell you, a violation is arbitrary as fuck. You can literally have your foot on a yellow line and a CO can write you up, and I've seen dudes get violated because they were stabbed. Dude, literally standing in line, somebody come and stick a shiv in his kidney. Nobody seen nothing, and they don't have anybody to write up. They got somebody who stabbed, so the dudes literally get brought to the infirmary, handcuffed to the gurney, talking about, yeah, he's violated. He's going to the hole. For what? Because he got stabbed. Did he stab back? Was he foul? Nah. Just getting stabbed is a violation. Defending yourself from an attack is a violation. So Ice Cube is basically giving the oppressor 5 violations, fine. We can do 5 you can get 5 violations in one instant. If somebody's I'm gonna kill you or try to extort you in jail, you get yourself a little weapon, that's 1 violation. You fight the dude and defend yourself, that's 2 violations. You try to stash your little weapon, that's 3 violations. Then you won't tell them who was attacking you because if you snitch, that's another violation. Then you protest your incarceration or being put in the hole, and you say, man, this is some bullshit. I'm just trying to live and get through this shit. Y'all put me in here and then don't give me no means. That's another insubordination. That's 5 violations in one way. What the fuck are you? Listen, somebody put Ice Cube. I know he pretends to be a gangster, but he don't know shit about the street. He don't know shit about jails, but he can weave wonderful stories. But let's keep going. And so he's got some other shit. He wants to eliminate 3 strikes laws. He's just rehashing all these stale shits that's been in part of you go back to the Occupy movement. You go back 10, 20, 15 years. He's rehashing old shit. A lot of his prison reform shit he got from Angela Davis and other prison reform. And he don't even give them credit or citation. It's not cool. Sucker MC. But let's keep going because this is getting long in it too. It's just so much nonsense. He also, this is the worst part of it. If you had to say, bro, Diallo, what's the worst part of Ice Cube's contract? This is the worst part. He says to compensate. He says, number 1, black people make up 13.4% of the U.S. population. Black men are about half that, 6%, give or take. But we make up 17% of the enlisted forces. We, what I call the fodder of empire, poor and working class people in the imperial army. And does he say, like the Black Panther says, exempt all black people from military service? No. This is what this motherfucker... Ooh, man, listen. If he wasn't such a gangster with a crime record like Charles Manson, I'd call his ass out. But I don't want no trouble from a gangster with a crime record like... He says, to compensate for this disproportionate contribution to our national defense, we contribute more to national defense than the average white person. The black group as a whole do more to preserve the... But then he says national defense. The U.S. military ain't got shit to do with national defense. The U.S. military is about corporate overthrow. Read Confessions of an Economic Hitman. How the fuck you letting random white people be more radical and hip to shit than you are, Ice Cube? But I digress. He says 5% of the Defense Department budget will be allocated towards beautification, education, and youth programs in predominantly black neighborhoods. So he wants to take the fucking blood money from the genocidal wars, from genocidal displacement in Gaza to AFRICOM, to the recolonization of Africa, from fucking the genocidal, ecocidal wars in Iraq, the nuclear intimidation of Iran, all this wicked shit, the military. He wants to take 5% of all the money from Halliburton, from IBM, from nuclear motherfucking bombs, from drone bombings. He wants 5% of that shit to go to parks, coloring books. And what did he say? Youth programs to buy basketballs. So he's saying, fine, America, you can have your empire. Just break us off a little something. Break us off 5% of everything you get from the empire, from having a global military go across the world to murder innocent people. Break us off 5%. This is the most gangster thing that Ice Cube has did. All them raps. All them fucking raps. I know have all his shit from NWA. I know them shits verbatim by heart. But I ain't gonna rap Ice Cube's lyrics because the motherfucker might say I'm violating his punk ass copyright and get this shit snatched down. This is the most gangster shit he ever wrote. This is the most bloodthirsty shit he ever wrote. Don't end imperialism. Don't go and get those goddamn nuclear submarines, those aircraft carriers, those goddamn drone and stealth bombers killing innocent people all over the world. Don't bring all that shit back and stop imperialism in neo-colonialism. He's like, no, keep that shit going. Just break us off 5% off the top. That's some gangster shit right there. So, and he's literally like, oppress Africa, do coup d'etats in the Caribbean, continue to economically strangle Haiti, continue to carry out proxy wars. Just break black Americans off a little something. Punk ass motherfucker. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. Steph Curry fan would never use such language, and I apologize. Let's keep going. He also wants some of that military empire money to go and fix the Flint water crisis. Ice Cube could get on the motherfucking phone to Will Smith, Common, and 5 other black millionaires and billionaires and fix Flint water crisis with just using the money from their fucking luxury, sell a couple of mansions and fix it. But you know, white daddy gonna do it. My money is for me to ball with. But I'll advocate that white daddy get you the money to fix. But I digress. He wants to reform the 13th Amendment to take out legalized slavery within prison, a noble thing. But he doesn't say, and if you don't, then I'm going to do A, B, and C. He's like, just do it out of the goodness of your heart. So he wants to reform. Then he goes on and he talks about the entertainment industry. And do you think in the entertainment industry, he says, listen, I became a multimillionaire by promoting the most degenerate antisocial raps by calling life ain't nothing but bitches and money. One less nigga I gotta worry about. Even all you think, well, Ice Cube, NWA had some degenerate shit, but Ice Cube just one of many. No, because remember, Eazy-E said, Ice Cube write the rhymes that I say, hell to the niggas from the CIA. He shot out the CIA. Ice Cube even wrote Eazy's raps. And if you listen to Ice Cube, he's responsible for all of that shit. So Ice Cube is the granddaddy of gangster rap. This degenerate mass murder shit. And it was the fucking Republican Party, go back, that used the rap. And not just Republican Democrats. Look up the history of Al and Tipper Gore. See Dolores Tucker. It was this fucking gangster rap that enriched Ice Cube that the white man took and said, well, these black people in the ghettos are nothing but drug dealing, sex crazed, gangster murderers. 3 strikes, you're out. Look at the proliferation of gangster rap and the expansion of the mass incarceration. They go on a fucking a parallel line. Do you think he said, because even like Too Short, Jay-Z, and many of the gangster rappers from the 1990s says, not only did we enrich ourselves from showing a degenerate image of black people across the world, we gave birth to all this murder music, all this antisocial. Many rappers from that era, now that Too Short had a daughter, and so he don't like that I call women bitches. I know it was but and Jay-Z was like, my mama's a lesbian, so I'm not homophobic anymore. I got a daughter, so women ain't bitches anymore. So yeah, like every time, that's narcissism, but hey, y'all want to look at it as positive. Ice Cube don't even do that. He wants mandatory funding of black studios. So more Medea, here we come. So how? So he can make Soul Plane Part 1 and 2. And all these black movies, they got colorism and all the same backwardsness. Why can't we get another fucking Quilombo? Another fucking Sweetback's Badass song? Why can't you fucking Sam Greenlee, who made The Spook Who Sat by the Door, one of the greatest revolutionary movies to ever grace our screens, not one of these fucking black filmmakers, black movie studio motherfuckers went to Sam Greenlee and say, hey, what's your next project? I'll produce it. I'll fund it. I'll film it. Sam Greenlee fucking died struggling, impoverished, hustling bootleg copies of his own damn movie. While we get another fucking hood porn, black suffering porn. But he wants, and he said, wow, listen to this motherfucker. He said mandatory funding of black studios by the largest Hollywood studio, which is more socialism, record companies and television studios and networks to compensate for years of lack of supporting, stereotyping, and damage to black culture. Now, I mean, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black, Ice Cube is accusing Hollywood of stereotyping and damage to culture. Yeah. Okay. And some of y'all are like, well, he started making positive music. But please, if you want to hear positive music, I got positive hip hop for you. He went from making fucking genocidal gangster rap to anger lash out rap. Say Africa, I stare at ya. We ain't got it too good in America. That's one of the most disgusting lines, to making party music and materialism. I got money, I got hoes, I'm flyer than everybody. He never made conscious music. Yeah, I said it. Conscious music for clowns. So anyway, that's what he wants. He wants the some of that Weinstein money. But we already got a lot of black content creators, and they ain't putting out nothing that's revolutionary. And what's the incentive? Because even if I get some Hollywood money to make a movie, I still have to make commercially viable movies. And the commercially viable movies got to have some fucking, even Black Panther had to have a CIA agent hero, and the black militant who wanted to overthrow white people was the horrible villain. So yeah, if y'all like black imperialism, I guess, the fuck. And he wants more black TV stations. He wants to buy, somebody better tell him what happened to Cosby. Licensing of public airways to broadcast networks such as NBC, Fox, CBS, ABC must have black produced content equal to 20% of the total content. So he's asking for more affirmative action and integration. There's no statement on the quality of that thing. He says that white people made stereotyping movies and content that's damaging to black culture. He didn't say that you should stop doing that. He just said you should allow black people to make that shit. And we already know that black people are just as capable of white people of making horrible content for black people. And there are a lot of positive musical artists. There are a lot of revolutionary conscious filmmakers, a lot of positive revolutionary artists that get no fucking love. And he could have given them a shout out. And there's been rappers who've been rapping for the last 30 years. And so, and putting out content. Sometimes going in their own pocket to finance it. Ice Cube would say, listen, with all my money, I'm only making revolutionary content from revolutionary artists. I've made enough fucking money to spend over 50 lifetimes. So all the rest of my movie is Pan-African revolutionary, and I don't even need the white man to give me approval. Remember when he was with Khalid Muhammad, he said, I'm sick of having to go to white people to make my records. Now he's in a position where he doesn't have to go to white folks, but go to his website and see, go buy any Ice Cube Vision. Google Cube Vision, and everything he does hand in hand with the same white devils he claims he didn't want to have to work for anymore. So finally he says, in his final solution in his contract, he says, monuments and institutions, eliminate all Confederate and overtly racist statues. Again, a Johnny come lately. Thank you, Ice Cube, for nothing. He basically wants de-Confederization of America. No more Confederate monuments, no more Confederate nothing, I guess. And when more black people actually, the Confederate flag is a symbol of preserving slavery, but the U.S. flag is a symbol of legal constitutional slavery. I don't know how y'all can hate the Confederate flag and not hate the stars and bars. But I don't know. Somebody explain it to me. I'm out of water, so it's time to wrap this gavel up. Use the Confederate flags, and he don't want he wants to change the name of streets and schools. He just wants all monuments dedicated to Confederates. But what's crazy is George Washington, the father of this country, held slaves, murdered slaves, raped African children, and defended slavery and institutionalized slavery. Thomas Jefferson. Abraham Lincoln, even though he emancipated the slaves, he only emancipated the slaves of the states that left the Union. The Emancipation Proclamation still recognized the enslaved people who were in the states that didn't break from the Union. So the Unionist slave states, like the state I was born in, Missouri, didn't lose their slaves during the Emancipation Proclamation. And Lincoln is also on record saying, number one, he thinks black people are inferior to whites. Number two, he said if he could find a compromise where he could preserve slavery and preserve the Union, he would do it. And number three, he said if there was a way to ship Africans back to Africa after exploiting our labors and send us back to our motherland empty-handed, he would do that shit. He had no love. He says, my only goal is the preservation of the Union, with or without Negroes. Look at it, Lord, whoop! And can I get an amen? So, anyway, he wants all the Confederate racists done away with, but we can keep all the Unionist racists. So, that's it. And like I said, nowhere in this document does he state, and if you don't do it, and let me tell you something else. Dr. John Henrik Clarke said that anytime a black man goes before a public stage and speaks about the interest of black people and fails to mention Africa, you are out of line. He says nothing about Africa. He says nothing about the global African community. He says nothing about Africa. He says black Americans, as if black America has not 100% been tied to. Now, Dr. Clarke also said the racist cab drivers. He said the racists are better Pan-African than the average black person. Because the racists understand a black person, or an N-word is an N-word is an N-word is an N-word. And you put a Jamaican, a black Panamanian, a Nigerian, Kenyan, you put a Kikuyu, and a Luo, you put a brother from Detroit, you put a Crip and a Blood, and you say you put a line up all these black people with all these distinctive ideas of who they are and what they are, and you go get any redneck, an illiterate, toothless redneck from the Appalachia and say, what are you looking at? And he'll be like, niggers, all the way across. And that's how they deal with us. They deal with the south side of Chicago the same way they deal with Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The same way they deal with Lagos, Nigeria. The same fucking policies. Extract wealth, suppress the population. So if you think your U.S. citizenship, your social security card means any fucking thing, or if you're an African to say, well, I speak fluent French. I speak fluent French. I'm from an African monarchy. And you come to the United States, ask Amadou Diallo. They don't say, oh, shoot that Cameroonian. Shoot that Ghanaian. Shoot that Francophone African. Shoot that black Muslim. Shoot that black. They be like, shoot that. So, anytime any black person talks about improving the standing and condition of African people, and they only talk about specific isolated populations, as Dr. Clark said, if you before black folks, especially black people of the diaspora, and whatever your agenda does not include Africa, you are out of line. You are out of pocket. You are full of shit. Nobody should listen to you. And he first said that with Farrakhan. Because Farrakhan got up and got in the biggest stage any black man has ever had, past, present, and in the current future, and got up there and talked about the Day of Atonement for all black people and solutions for all black people, and Farrakhan didn't mention Africa once. So that's my timeline. If you say, I want to help black people, and you ain't got Africa nowhere in your document, motherfucker, fuck you. Now, I wanted to put in solutions. Now, if Ice Cube came to me and said, bro, Diallo, here's a grip. Here's $45. I'm fucking cheap as hell. You take your scholarship, your wisdom, your understanding, your work, and write up a contract for Black America, and I'm going to put it up on my West Side Bloody Hand website. Now, I wouldn't do it for $45. I would do it maybe, I don't know, whatever he paid the Negroes who compiled this data. First thing I would have said is, Cube, you can't call it the contract with America because there was a right-wing racist contract with America, and you can't use that branding. That's a tainted brand. He understands that, but he would be like, I don't give a fuck. It's only black people. That's not that important. They're not that. So, but what I'm going to do is just pretend. Y'all like playing pretend. Y'all believe Jesus Christ is y'all Lord and Savior, and the Prophet Muhammad ascended to. Y'all like pretend. Y'all really good at pretending and make believe. So I'm going to pretend that Ice Cube came to Bro Diallo and said, Bro Diallo, you write the contract with Black America. And I'm going to do a part 2 of this. And so I'm going to take Ice Cube's contract and I'm going to fix it for free. Because I'm stupid. I'm not a capitalist. I'm just not good at fucking parlaying revolution into revenue. How do you make revolution into revenue? I hope Umar teaches that at his all-black man school for all men's. I'll sign up for that class, the correspondence course. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about what we can do, some real viable solutions for African people. And hopefully I'll have my internet connection together. I'm going to download this and put it up on YouTube. I didn't put no music. I ain't play no intro. I ain't playing no outro. And let's see if whoever took my video down last time will leave me the blood clot alone. No copyrighted materials. So that's what we're going to do. DialloKenyatta.com. All my Patreon supporters, I wouldn't be sitting here in this hot-ass room that ain't nowhere. The fan ain't doing nothing but blowing hot air down my neck. I gotta see if I can find another commercial. I think my cousin sent me. I'm gonna wear like a Nike shirt or something. I think this is my only basketball jersey. So every time I'm gonna talk about one more time. I'm gonna wear the most non-threatening thing I can find in my closet and talk to y'all about this shit. And then we can go back to the regular Bro Diallo broadcast. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. I gotta give a shout out to co-conspirator number 2, Chauncey, and I got a call to talk to you about some stuff, but just relax for now. Who else? Phil, shout out. Phil said he's getting off of social media. So If y'all know Phil, tell him I said what's up. Shout out to all my supporters on my Patreon. Shout out to Ice Cube for annoying the fuck out of me and giving me some realization. And shout out to all the suckers, the mark-ass tricks, the busters, the gumps that are going to fall for this bullshit and eat this bullshit. He already has Common on board. Big Com Saddam, the bony homie from Stony. So it's already 2 big name celebrities attached to this shit. And one more thing. Ice Cube and his homies got enough to do most of this shit without even engaging with the white man. But it ain't no fun if Whitey can't get none. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off. I don't even know how to end it because I can't play no outro music because I'm sick of my shit getting snatched. So I guess, I talk about foreign dictators. I talk about some of the elite multinational corporations and my shit don't get snatched down. But I talk about fucking Ice Cube and my shit gets fucking flagged. What the fuck? Anyway, let me stop complaining. The Lord has been too good to me. For me to be complaining. But anyway, again, shout out Chauncey. Shout out to my patrons. Shout out to everybody who sat through this. And look forward. I might just do it tomorrow. Yeah, I am going to do it tomorrow. We're going to do the solutions because I put that in there. So I'm going to do a part 2. Ice Cube's contract with America versus viable solutions. So now we're about to do Bro Diallo's contract with America. No, we can keep it Ice Cube. We're going to reform Ice Cube. So y'all have a good night. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be on YouTube. And hopefully we can, again, I'm about to go tell Dr. Mingo that the thing didn't work. We were supposed to fix the internet. But I guess Facebook working now. At first YouTube was working and then Facebook was glitching. So we're going to get these problems together. Y'all have a good night. And I don't know. I would, let me just see y'all out. I can't even do no rap. I ain't going to say no raps. I'm just going to say good night. Peace.